Hello, in this video we are looking at Karuna Tillaka, lesson 1, further reading 2. That's the one beginning at the bottom of page 11. I'll read out just the first paragraph without the text, and then the first paragraph with the text up, and then we'll analyze that in detail, and all of the remaining paragraphs follow that same pattern with a variation of just a word or two each time. Naham bhikkhave anyang ekarupampi samanupassami yang evam purisassa chittam pariyadaya titthati yathaidam bhikkhave ittirupang bhikkhave purisassa chittam pariyadaya titthati. I'll call the text up for you. Here we are. Naham bhikkhave anyang ekarupampi samanupassami yang evam purisassa chittam pariyadaya titthati yathaidang bhikkhave ittirupam bhikkhave purisassa chittam pariyadaya titthati. In previous material, we have seen the phrase Naham bhikkhave anyameka dhammampi samanupassami. That means I do not discern, O monks, one single thing, phenomenon. Here it's the same words, but we have rupam, which means a form. Most of you will know that word already. The Buddha rupa is the Buddha form, a statue of a Buddha. We have nama rupa, literally name and form, often translated as mentality and materiality, the mind, as opposed to the body and form generally. Here it's used in a more ordinary sense of form, forms that are attractive to the senses, or otherwise as the case may be. So I do not, O monks, anyameka rupampi samanupassami, sorry. I do not discern, or I do not detect, I hear, I can't think of, I haven't managed to discover another single form, even one other, ekarupampi, even one other single form, yang evam purisassa chittam pariyadaya titthati, which, so, evam, so or thus, chittam pariyadaya titthati. It means it's these two verbs used together, pariyadaya titthati, it means obsesses. It's this construction, pariyadaya titthati, literally having engrossed or having overpowered stands, is the idea of that it overpowers and remains doing so. Pariyadaya titthati, literally having engrossed or completely taken up stands. You could translate that as something as consistently, persistently overpowers or takes up. Pariyadaya, the idea of to engross, take up, overpower. It's from the root da, meaning to give. With the verbal prefix a, it reverses the motion, so to speak. So instead of to give, it means to take, ada. So the adinadana Veramani Dinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Um, so adinna, ungiven, adana, taking, from dana, just making the verbal noun of to give, and adana, taking. So adinna, ungiven, adana, taking, the ungiven taking, that is, taking what is not given. This prefix, peri, is cognate. It means around. It's cognate with the Greek peri, and it's sometimes in a physical sense means around, but also it has the like an intensive sense of completely smothering around, engrossing, as I will explain. For example, mana, not mana pride, but the other mana meaning measuring. Um, we have the word parimana in the Karaniametta Sutta. We have aparimanam, unbounded, unmeasured. And that actually is directly, parimana, is directly cognate with the Greek word perimeter, perimeter, peri around, meter measuring. So the perimeter is that which measures around. So periada, so ada to take, periada to take around. And the meaning of that is to totally absorb, to engross, to overpower, to consume. I'm going to call up here the Polytext Society dictionary for that with that entry. There we are. Oops. Sorry, this sometimes happens to this dictionary page on Zoom. We get part of the page. There we are. There we are. So periadia, the gerund, we call it the absolutive form as well. This is a verbal form that we haven't got to yet, but it basically means having done something. Periada, having taken. It's often used adverbially. Don't worry about that yet. It will be explained as we go along. Taking all round, summing up completely, then exhausting, overpowering, taking hold of. And teti means stand. So having overpowered stands means constantly remains in a state of having overpowered. So I know of no other, I discern, I detect no other single form that so overpowers the purisasa chittam, the mind of a man, Yathaidam bhikkhave itti rupam, as this, O monks, the itti rupam, the woman form, so the form of a woman. Note the difference between purisa and manusa. Purisa is man in the sense of a male human, whereas pen's going funny again. Manusa means man in the sense of human. For example, before the ordination ceremony, a monk will be asked, Manusosi, si meaning you are or are you, Manusosi, are you a Manusa? That's so that yakas and devas and other creatures disguising themselves in human form are not allowed to be ordained. You've got to be a human to be ordained. So they're asked, Manusosi, are you a Manusa? Are you a human being? Whereas Purisa is specifically a male person as opposed to a female person. And Itti, this is a very good example of the mutation of sounds between Sanskrit and Pali. So Itti is a woman. In Sanskrit, the word is stri. Normally you'd expect it to finish up being something like tea in Pali, but it's made into a two syllable word. The I is added to the beginning. The str consonant cluster. Pali can't manage a str, so the tr becomes a double t, and because of the s, it becomes aspirated. So that is how you get from stri to itti. For those who aren't used to that, they just look like totally different words. But in fact, itti is by a fairly natural phonetic progression from Sanskrit to Pali, the same as stri. So this is the ittirupam. In Sanskrit, it would be stri rupam, the woman form, meaning the form of a woman. And the second sentence of that paragraph goes saying the same thing the other way around. Ittirupam bhikkhave purisassa chittam pariyadaya tittati. So the woman form, O monks, pariyadaya tittati, overpowering stands, remains in a position of having overpowered purisassa chittam, the chitta of a man. The next four paragraphs use exactly the same words, um, with a different aspect of each time, a different sensory input, as it were. So it's the ittisad. If you just look at the last word in each paragraph, the ittisaddo. So naham bhikkave. Look at the second paragraph now. Naham bhikkave anyameka saddampi samanupassami yang evam purisassa chittam pariyadaya tittati yathayidam bhikkave ittisaddo bhikkave purisassa chittam pariyadaya tittati. So saddha means a sound or a word. It's the same as the shabda in Sanskrit. So Sanskrit shabda. And my pen is playing up again. Shabda, which by regular phonetic mutation becomes saddha in Pali. The next line, Naham bhikkave anyang ekagandhampi sanamupassami yang evam purisassa chittam pariyadaya tittati yathaidam bhikkave ittigandho bhikkave purisassa chittam pariyadaya tittati. Now the gandha means smell, typically a nice one, a fragrance, aroma. There's one monk who's I don't know how common the name is. It's Sila Gandho. Means the fragrance of virtue. Sila means morality or virtue. And Gandho, the monk who has we talk about the odor of sanctity in English, and this is the odor, the aroma of Sila, of virtue. By the way, the family name Gandhi means perfume sellers, so that, as in Mahatma Gandhi. The next verse has rasa, meaning a taste. So, Naham bhikkave anyang ekarasampi samanupassami yang evam purisassa chittam pariyadaya tittati yathayedam bhikkave ittiraso. Sorry. Ittiraso bhikkave purisassa chittam pariyadaya tittati. I do not, O monks, detect one single taste which so obsesses the purisasa chittam, the mind of a man, as the itirasu, as the taste of a woman. Itirasu bhikkhave purisasa chittam pariyadaya tittati. And in the last verse we have the puttabam, which is the means touch. I've done a note on that, which I will call up for you. It's from the root sprish, meaning to touch, and it also came to mean sprinkle in Latin. The equivalent was aspergere, just sprish, spergere. You'll very often find that where you have a sh in the Vedic root, it often turns up as a k sound in Latin and or Greek. And occasionally it happens through to English as well. So there's some sprish. Alternative form is springsheti, and from which we actually get the English word, mistake, sprinkle, which is to touch with water, and spergere in Latin, aspergere. Idea not totally drenching in water, but just touching, with a liquid. And if you cast aspersions on somebody, that's the old meaning of spattering somebody with muck, not drowning him in muck, just spattering. So sprishati, you'll see from this note in the explanatory lexicon, becomes in Pali pusati, and the verbal noun sparsha and passa, and we know passa as one of the senses. So the passa is the sense of the sense of touch, and we have the passa. Actually, it's not so much the sense of touch. It's more means the contact, as we have in the paticca samuppada, in the chain of causation. Is the passa, the touching is the contact. Whereas the sprashtavya, the touchable, becomes in Pali puttabba, and that means the not so much the contact, but either a touchable thing or the touch, in the sense of touching something, as opposed to smelling it or seeing it or tasting or hearing. So we see here kayena puttabbam pusitva, having touched a touchable with the body. This ending in abba, it's the future passive participle. Very, very frequent. We'll be getting to it in detail soon. We see it again and again in Pali. Pachatam veditabbo vinyuhi. To be known each for himself by the wise. So, going back now to our text. Here we are. So, Naham bhikkhave anyam eka puttabbampi samanupasami. I do not, O monks, detect any one single touch. Yang evam purisasa chittam pariyadaya tittati, that so engrosses or obsesses the purisasa chittam, the mind of a man, yatayadham bhikkhave, as this, O monks, iti puttabbam, the woman touch, the touch of a woman, and the same in reverse. Iti puttabbam bhikkhave purisasa chittam pariyadaya tittati. In the next 5 paragraphs, the words are exactly the same, save that man and woman are reversed. So we have we have the Itya Chittam Pariyadaya Tittati. So Itya, we've seen Iti um, is the nominative form and the stem form. The genitive is Itya. So Itya Chittam is the mind of a woman, and Purisa Saddo, man sound, the sound of a man. And the rest of these paragraphs are um, repeat that same pattern, as in Purisa Gandho, the scent, the smell, the aroma of a man, Purisa Raso, the taste of a man, and Purisa Puttabam, the touch of a man. So that completes this video on this section.